Good morning, everybody, or actually, it's afternoon. I slept in a little this morning. It's New Year's Day. This is my 2023 kind of behind the scenes walkthrough of the light show. That's the Halloween and Christmas light show. So, we're going to go through some of the things that happened, some of the things I changed for 2023, some of the things that I saw that went wrong or I would change, and then just a couple of things I'm looking at doing differently for 2024. I made some notes. Actually, I filmed the outside portion of this video on December 23rd. It's December 31st now. It's cold and rainy. I'm glad I did. So let's head outside. Let's get this part out of the way. We're going to go back in time and look at the light show. All right, so we're going to get this outdoor walkthrough part done while it's light out and nice out. Now, don't mind the mess in the garage. This week is garage maintenance. It's been very busy. So, first thing we got over here, we'll start inside and work outside. So, this is my right garage controller, and I consider that looking at the house from the curb. It's Xlights Genius 16. That is connected to a Casa outdoor smart plug, so it turns on automatically at 4 and turns off at midnight. My 12-volt power supply, and then I do have network run. None of the controllers are Wi-Fi anymore. We will come to the garage controller, which is actually on the left side of the garage. And this is kind of the brains area. I'll zoom this out. So first thing we have here is the FM transmitter. That is on 97.1. We have some power, and all of this is new power and new network that was run, so we do have network running down. Last year everything was on Wi-Fi. This year not so much. This is on a Casa power strip, so again, just like the other ones, the controller actually turns off at midnight, turns on at 4 o'clock. The FM transmitter stays on because I notice it doesn't, if you turn it off, when you turn it back on, you have to reset the frequency. So this controller does run off of 2 power supplies. So there's 16 ports, 1 power supply for 8 ports, another power supply for the other 8 ports.
Yep.
I do have a little 4-port switch in here, a little Netgear switch, the Sound Blaster sound card, and then the Raspberry Pi 4, which runs the show. We come outside. Everything on the house is the same as last year. Nothing has changed there. Still have our 3D printed clips that are holding up pretty well. This one I had to make some new clips for, and I did make some clips for that one. This year I went with a little choir of singing bulbs over on the right hand side of the yard, along with one of Matos Design's spiral trees. One of the additions that we had, I think it was actually done last year, but we've got power right in there, so the power helps out the camera, and the power does run one of the projectors that's behind me. If we look close, I'm not using it this year, but I will be next year. There is network up here. Right now, the projector is still Wi-Fi. That's because I used the projector control on Falcon Player. Next year I'm going to get IR blasters and move the Raspberry Pi in there to networked. I'm having too many issues with signal and latency out here. So it's pretty simple. It's one of the same setups for projectors, a waterproof box. I cut out a hole and put some plexiglass over it and put some vents in it. That I learned was very important, which I should have known that. These are not on any smart plugs, so they just stay on. in standby mode. Again, just the views of the house. The props on the siding are actually with mounts from Meadows Designs, screw-in mounts, so the spinners and the 2 snowflakes. And I know my cable management sucks, but we had a pretty windy day that kind of messed things up, so I gotta fix those. This one is a new projector. I bought the projector, and this is where I learned about the IR blasters. This projector was not playing nicely with the projector control on Falcon Player, so I got an IR blaster, and now I can run that through my Google Home. The case is from Your Pixel store. I believe it's like $350, but it's a really nice case. It has ventilation built in, some different vents, and it's set up that you can get your wiring in really easy, and it is waterproof and it does lock. This one, I do have a Casa power strip in there, which I probably don't need it. This doesn't need to be smart, but I can turn off the Pi or the fans from the inside. I don't turn off the projector from the inside. We've got our candy cane and lollipops, pretty much set up the same as last year, and we have a Morgan. Next year, this is going to get changed out a little bit. We'll swing over here. This year, I lowered the flagpole just because of wind, but I found some 3-inch PVC, painted it up like a candy cane. And I got a new Tune 2 sign from Richland Models. I bought the whole sign. I didn't make this or print this. They did and sent it to me. It's a very nice sign. It's got pixels on the marquee, and then it's got a ring of pixels inside that light it up. This connects directly to the last lollipop, and there is an F amp in there. One of the newer things we got this year is these are the 10-watt floodlights. I've got 3 of them. I actually had one last year, but I didn't use it, couldn't really figure it out. They have to be on their own port on the controller. They can't daisy chain to something else, and it wasn't working on a smart receiver. These are the smaller mini trees. We had these last year. We've had these for a few years. The pole right there is for another spiral tree that the holes were just too small on, and we couldn't get pixels on it in time. So the pole's there, but the spiral tree needs some work. This year we added 4 larger mini trees from Boscoyo Studios. And we've got the Rosa Grande, and then all the 3D printed spinners in the window. So this one's a new spinner, 20-inch spinner. Everything else is 16. And we have all the regular house lights on that don't come down. And this year I had some blow molds. I didn't put them out last year, but they do have a single light in them, so they work with Xlights. They again have to be connected to their own port. They can't be daisy chained to other things. They just don't work right. So we have the second control, or the third control, or excuse me, we have the third projector, which is set up the same as the first projector. Apparently we have my filament that I ordered for Bamboo Labs. And we have the main controller box. This, again, like the other 2, is a Experience Lights Genius 16 port. This one also runs off a 2 power supplies, so 1 for each set of 8 ports. And right now, all 16 are used. I know I need a lot of cable management here. I do have this all set up for on a casa outdoor plug. So again, the controllers do turn off at night, so there's no power running through the wires at night. This year, we installed a network drop there. So no Wi-Fi here. The only thing Wi-Fi is the projectors, and that's going to change next year. We've got the blackout curtain material for the projector. It works all right. I think next year this projector is going to go away. That material still stay, but I'm going to make a seed pixel matrix and put it up there. And I want the pixels, or excuse me, I want the curtain here yet up there, so people can't see in the house and my light isn't coming out of the house. And as kind of a backdrop, because the pixels, I don't want them shining off of the window, because they do shine in 360 degrees. This year, we did add some snowflakes. Bottom two I've actually had for a couple of years, just didn't use. Then I added another 16-inch snowflake, and then this 24-inch Ice Princess snowflake. So basically, how this is set up, if it's in the front yard, or on the left side of the house, it goes to the main controller. Let's take a walk out a little bit farther. Let's watch the dog. The garage controller covers basically everything that's on the large garage, the 2-stall garage. So that covers the pixel pole, the outlines, the 2 snowflakes. That right garage controller covers this pixel pole, these 2 spinners, everything that's on the outline, and then it does control, there goes the dog, it does control those props over there. All the controllers have 16 ports, so I have plenty of room for expansion, and I have the ability to use the smart receivers, which I've already started planning next year, and we're going to have 4-port smart receivers throughout the yard, probably 3 of them. So like over here, instead of having a 20-foot runs of wire for the Xlights, or sorry, the controller, we're going to put a little mini controller out here and network it to the main controller. That way we don't have data loss, etc. Everything in the yard has PVC pipe on the back. And then it's just mounted into the ground with rebar. So we have quite a bit of rebar. These do spin a little bit with the wind, so before the show at night I come out and just make sure everything's facing the road. Those, same deal. It's got all the rebar and they spin a little bit. I do have, well, I had a stake and a piece of twine to keep this spiral tree straight. And there, it would appear that broke. We'll just give it a little spinny spin there. So I was set up to actually have some twine on each of these to come back and kind of anchor to that rebar, but I never got to it. I did the Halloween show this year and kind of got rushed switching things out to Christmas. So I started on November 1st. Had the Lightshow running for Thanksgiving, which didn't really give me a whole lot of time to get everything I wanted done properly. So this year I rushed it. It wasn't to my best ability, but I've started planning next year. I'm going to scale back a little bit on the Halloween and focus more on getting the best Christmas show I can. All right. Probably do some drone footage, send you some, or show you some drone footage at night and maybe some during the day. It's starting to get dark out. It's about 3 o'clock. I got about an hour before the lights come on. So this is the walkthrough for 2023. I look forward to doing the 2024 walkthrough. We'll probably post some videos on some little teasers on some updates we're doing. Thank you.
All right, I hope you guys liked the walkthrough. When I did it on the 23rd, it was in the 50s, somewhat sunny. It was kind of rainy. It's been a weird winter. This morning and last night, winter kind of started hitting. We got a lot of ice, a lot of cold, freezing rain, so I'm glad I did that ahead of time. So now that we've went through the physical portion, you've seen what's up, physically what I've changed. Let's just go through some of what I changed and why. So the first big thing I did was I switched from the Kulp controllers that I used to have to the Genius controllers. And basically, I like new shiny things. Genius was new. It had some innovations I really liked. Kulp, I liked the Wi-Fi capability, but it really taxed my Wi-Fi system throughout the house. With my house being automated, that data, which isn't much, but then the Lightshow data, the computers, the streaming, it was a little much over the Wi-Fi, so I got rid of those and I went to these Genius controllers. I installed network jacks at all 3 locations, so I've got a brand new network jack outside there, which I pointed out, and then the 2 in the garage. I did add a 3rd controller to the garage to kind of control the right side of the house. That was limiting cables running across the whole garage that I'd be driving over. Wanted to get rid of that. I did add another projector, and I'm not even sure why I did it. It just kind of happened. Originally, I was just going to replace one of the enclosures on an existing projector, and I figured I'd put some props on the garage, maybe magnetically. And I found the projector, it was cheap enough, so I put that one in the new projector box, which is from Your Pixel store. It's a really nice box. I'll do a review video on that, so you can go check that out. Finish watching this one though. Well, it's going to be a little bit before I do the review anyway. So I did put a projector on the big garage, so I'm running 3 projectors. Currently, each projector is run by a Raspberry Pi with FPP on it, and they are wireless. 2 of the projectors are controlled, turned on and off via Falcon Player and the schedule. And the newest one, that feature wasn't working. I couldn't get it to work right, so I got an IR blaster. So all 3 projectors are running by Wi-Fi, and that is causing issues, and we'll get down to that a little bit later. I added the 4 large mini trees, and I added 2 big singing bulbs, which I got to figure out how to get the outlines of the singing bulbs working better. Here's some of the problems that I've run into, and I've kind of alluded to a few here. Obviously, the projector's on Wi-Fi. It's causing a lot of issues. So the newest projector on the garage is actually working the best. The 2 projectors for the small garage and the front window here, they're losing connection with the Wi-Fi, and they're having a lot of Wi-Fi issues. Right now, I can't really control them. They're just on autopilot. They're working for the most part, but they're on autopilot. The small garage projector, 2 or 3 times this year, that has just lost video signal between the Pi and the projector. That could be the port on the Pi, the cable, the projector. The first time it took me a little bit of fiddling around with it. It came back up. The second time I kind of messed around with the cable a little bit. It came back up. I left it as is. I didn't want to get too far into changing things in the middle of the season. So in about a week, we're going to pull all the projectors down and we'll set them up and running and let them test and go from there. The ESP Pixel stick that controls the front window, which I totally forgot to put in that walkthrough. So I have the 4 props in the front window, and there's a little ESP Pixel stick, which is a Wi-Fi controller that has 1 port that controls like 600 or some pixels. That has been having issues staying connected with Wi-Fi and just getting a good connection, which is weird because it's about 10 feet away from the Wi-Fi access point in the house. Everything else works good, that doesn't. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm probably going to get rid of that ESP pixel stick and find a different controller for that. I do have another one here that I know works well. I'm going to bring in all 3 projectors. I'm going to test them out, and I will be taking one projector. Hopefully, I will be taking one projector out of the show and adding a seed pixel matrix. And if you don't know what seed pixels are, well, I have some coming, and I will do an unboxing or a review on them. But I want to make a matrix on this front window here with the seed pixels. It's the smallest surface, so it's going to be the cheapest, and it's still not going to be that cheap. But then that'll remove one projector. I'll be able to sell that one. I have 2 others sitting around here that aren't being used. I'll probably sell those 2. And when I find one that's having issues, I'll sell the 4th one and upgrade it to a better projector. So I'll have one older projector, and then I'll have one higher quality projector. Hopefully. We'll see where prices are and how everything goes there. We will be hardwiring all connections next year, so we're going to have to put switches in a couple locations. Basically, the garage projector and the large garage projector will be getting hardwired. I already started. There's going to be a new layout. We're going to refresh it. You know, after 2 years, kind of same layout, gets kind of old, better ways to do things. We're going to refresh that. I'm going to pull back a little bit on my emphasis of Halloween. This year I tried to keep up with the Joneses on Halloween, and I had a Halloween Christmas show. And I only had 24 days to switch between Halloween and Christmas and live my regular life. So it was kind of rushed. There were a couple little issues in there that people probably didn't notice, but I noticed that I didn't have a chance to fix. Didn't really have a chance to go over and run through and record the songs beforehand, and I kind of rushed the sequencing of the videos. So I'm already starting for next year. The layout's kind of started. I'm starting my planning. I've started ordering a couple of things here for testing. I've started printing stuff for next year. So I'm going to do a little bit less focus on Halloween and kind of use that time to get ready for Christmas and make it the best that I can do. I'm going to be adding pea stakes, arches, and candy canes. I'm not going to tell you how yet. The pea stakes and arches are going to be all DIY, 3D printed. You know, I'm going to try and pull back as much as I can from buying props just because the shipping is ridiculous. I want to try to replace the PVC with pixels on the gutters with a more professional looking trim on the gutters. And then eventually I'm going to do the same thing with the roof line. The windows and doors, I just haven't found a solution that'll actually fit there, being that that's such a small area. We'll see how that comes out. Oh, one of the biggest things I've had here was when the show runs, I can't really work out in the garage because the garage lights are very bright, and both garage doors have windows. It washes everything out. Wasn't so bad at the beginning of the season when I was running the shows on the hour, but when I put them on a loop, I really couldn't work in the garage, which I do have the woodworking business out there. So that was kind of a miscalculation. So I will be putting a cover on the garage windows next year. Well, probably this summer. That's about all I have for the light show for this year. 2023 was still a fun year. It was nice to watch all the people enjoy it. We didn't really market and there was a jump cut there because my camera only records in 5-minute intervals, and I'm not sure why. I know it's designed that way. So as I was saying, it was really fun to sit and watch the people outside. I did get to talk to a couple of you. That's always great to sit and watch. The marketing side of it, we didn't really push with the marketing, excuse me, and Facebook posts. My sister, who does the Facebook, was busy with more job responsibilities and helping out get the family Christmas ready. I had a few more responsibilities now that I have the woodworking back up and running. So there wasn't as much getting the word out on Facebook. We had thought about getting a hold of the media, WBAY or something, to try and help spread the word so people can come and enjoy the show. Next year, we're going to try to do that. We're going to try to add a couple more interactive things, and I know I said that last year in last year's video. We have some ideas that we have to try and work through. They're not going to be as easy as just doing it. So that's where we're at with the Lightshow. We're getting started for 2024. Obviously, the changes I want to do for 2024 are going to be price dependent. Things are getting ridiculously expensive, and shipping is just stupid in this hobby. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Maybe the video helped you kind of want to try and do this yourself. It's a great hobby. There's a few of us around the area that do it. There's always plenty of help, plenty of fun, and it's just rewarding in the end when you watch the people outside having fun. Next videos that we're going to kind of have some Xlights related videos, and just remember I'm still kind of on the basic side even after 4 years. But we're going to have a video on how I do groups, how I do importing in Xlights. We're going to have the overview / review of the seed pixels. I'll kind of show you how I'm building the piece stakes that I'm putting outside and what a piece stake is. A lot of you guys might not know. I'll do the projector enclosure review from Your Pixel store. And I got a new drone. I'm going to do a review on it because I can use it for the videos. I did use it for the Lightshow to take some videos, although I screwed that up and accidentally formatted the SD cards. But I'll do a review of that. That's not something I'm great at either, but it was a lot of fun. So you guys have a great year. I'll see you throughout the year. Oh, I did post in the community a poll of what kind of videos you all want to see that'll keep your attention. Choices were the Christmas lights and electronics, because I'm an electronics nerd. Woodworking, which I can figure out how to get some video of that. That's a little bit harder than just this. And then the barbecue side. The barbecue side obviously is more for the summer, but we'll see. Thank you. Thank you for a great year. We got a couple hundred new subscribers to the channel, but I'll do another video later that has an update for the channel for 2023. Take care.